So now I am going to introduce how to get more done in 3 hours than most do in 10, Coach's Edition. And this is a highly requested video because people really liked the systems that I explained in my How to Get to 10K as an Online Coach. If you haven't watched that, watch that above. But I think a lot of people liked the systems I have, and I know a lot of people don't really talk about how to actually structure your day as a coach so you can be efficient. And just for context, I'm a coach, but I still travel, I still do my hobbies, I climb outdoors, and I still get all my work done because I'm very efficient with my time. And so I want to teach you the systems that I use. And so this might be you right now. You're busy all day, but nothing really moves forward, right? Because you don't have actual structure in your tasks. You're kind of just doing stuff, but you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. And in the same way, you don't really have a system. So you're actually reacting instead of executing. And you're actually just spending hours on tasks that don't actually make you money. They're not actually high leverage tasks. And so let me introduce you to the four things that you need to do. This is a little bit packed because systems are a little bit complicated, but I want you guys to have as much information as possible. And so you should have one big task a day. You should be able to track everything. You gotta live by your calendar and you gotta batch everything. And the batch everything is probably the most important part. So make sure to listen to the end, right? And so let's start with the first one. One big task a day. And so this is a really important bit of the video. So you want to make sure that every day you're moving slightly more towards your goals. And the way to do that is to make sure you do the highest leverage task. So how I frame of it is, if I could only get one task done today that would move me towards my goal, what would that be? So what is the actual task that will actually get you towards your goal? So if you're starting out, I would say the most important task would be to get your daily target outreach done and your piece of content done, right? And if you're a little bit further along the journey, that will probably be fulfilling the clients in some shape or form, and also marketing, because marketing is always important. Content is always a very important task, no matter what stage you're at in a business. And so just make sure every day, right? Let's say the day goes super haywire and you get nothing done. But if nothing happens today, but I can only get one task done, just make sure to get that one task done. Because if you just get that one task done every day, you move much closer towards your goals than you realize, right? And you just don't want to skip a day. As long as you move a little step towards your goal every day, it will compound in the long run. And if you want a good book on that, there's a good book called Atomic Habits. It's getting quite popular lately, but that shows the effect of compounding. And the next thing I would say is make sure to track everything, right? And so, in order to systemize a process, you need to be able to physically see what you're doing, because a lot of people can say, I've done roughly 10 videos last week. But have you actually done 10 videos last week? Because a lot of times you're basing that based off of your thoughts or your emotions, and you need an actual physical structure to be able to track everything you're doing. And so you need to track all your progresses, and I would say the most important ones are outreach or content. There's other things, and there's other trackers out there. If you work with me one to one, I give you all the trackers you will ever need for it. But if you take away anything, you should definitely have an outreach tracker. This is an example of a tracker I give to my clients. So you should track everything. So the reason why it's really important to track everything, so let's say the outreach tracker is, let's say you have people you reach out to, but not a lot of people reply, then that's a message, that's a mistake in the first message. And if there's a lot of people that book but not a lot of people you close, that means your closing is not good. So when you see systematically, like how the numbers convert, you can see where in the system you're going wrong as well. So that's why it's really important as an operational part, why systemizing everything is really important and tracking it. And so my third tip will be live by your calendar, right? And so the one I recommend the most is Google Calendar. I've already said a lot about this in the video of how to make 10K a month as an online coach. But just make sure to absolutely time block everything according to Google Calendar. You need to schedule your day and religiously stick to Google Calendar, right? And this is an example of my calendar. So I will literally write down every step of my day in the calendar, even eating lunch, even eating dinner, and what I do in every day. So I do this usually at the start of the day and at the end of the day for the next day. And so this just means every time it hits a certain time, you can literally look at your calendar. You can be like, oh, okay, I need to do this, and then go back to the work. And doing this is super helpful because once you can see all the tasks you need to do, you're basically don't have to think as much to move on to that task. And also, this connects to the point of highest leverage task. If you make sure to put your highest leverage tasks somewhere in the day, so usually at the start of the day, so at least if you do the start and then let's say everything else goes haywire, you've taken at least one step towards your goals. And my last point would be to batch everything. You need to record or edit or outreach in bulk. This is super important. This is the biggest saving of time. I would say this is the biggest thing you can implement now, and the biggest tip I have in this video. What I used to do, right, is I used to literally, let's say in outreach, for example, I used to find a person to outreach and then outreach them, find another person and outreach them, right? But you need to get into the mindset of batch doing everything. So you need to list out, like now what I do is I just list out, let's say 200 300 people in one day, and then the following days I message batches of them at a time, and that saves you so much more time because you can message so many more people that way. So even with content, for example, you want to literally have a day where you film and then have a day where you edit, rather than doing film, edit. And the reason this works is because when you do one thing, right, it's so much easier to complete all the tasks within that that like certain task. So let's say you're just filming, it's so much easier to bang out like 5 videos of filming rather than film edit, just because film and edit would be two different processes. So it takes a lot of like mental energy. So it's harder to bang out like a film edit. And so an example would be Monday you film all the footage, Tuesday and Wednesday you edit all the footage, and then the rest of the week you do outreach. So this is kind of my schedule because filming and editing doesn't take that long. Like this will supply me videos for like the whole week, and outreach is usually my priority. And you can obviously base this wherever for your schedule. And so all of these tasks point to having a system. Again, systems are really important. And if you work with me one to one, I will give you that system. That's kind of the main thing I provide because a lot of people have the right content, have the right marketing, but you need a system to kind of compile them all. Um, but if you don't want to work with me, that's also fine. If you take away anything in this video, I want you to remember, do the highest leverage tasks, right? That's super important. If you can move one step forward, you will eventually reach your goal. So make sure you identify the tasks that move the needle towards your goals. And then make sure to batch everything, right? That's something you can implement literally straight away. So literally start batch filming and batch editing. And if you enjoyed this video, you know, like the video, and you can work with me one on one again in the description. But let me know if this is useful. Bye bye.